Hi, bud. You just feeling not good today? Look at his cheeks. He spent so much time crying last night that his cheeks are just red permanently, and he would, in the very, very small amount of time that he actually slept, he would just like, and then the wiping of the nose, and oh, it's so sad, huh? But Daddy's off to get some medicine for this double ear infection. We're gonna have some lunch. Do you hear that? All those birds outside of my backyard. The sun is out for like, well, the sun's been out pretty good today. And it's like mid-40s, which is kind of funny because that's not warm, like at all, but it is for Utah winter. Luke is down in a nap. I'm watching him on the phone. So if you follow along on Instagram, you know that Luke got a double ear infection, which was like a nightmare. He's had 2 UTIs, and the first one was really, really bad. The second one we caught really early, so we didn't really know he had it, like symptomatically. This double ear infection reminded me a lot of when he got his UTI. He was just like inconsolable in the night, and he slept total maybe 2.5 hours, and he's definitely like a 12-hour sleeper kind of a kid. He slept for like 2.5 hours. Mike and I both got like an hour and a half that night of sleep, and he threw up all over my bed. I was like washing my bedspread at midnight. It was a really, really hard night. That was a couple days ago. And then went to the pediatrician, and found out he had a double ear infection, and they prescribed him an antibiotic, and he started taking it. Well, we gave him 1 dose, 2 doses. Anyway, every time we would give it to him, he would just throw it up because he didn't like the taste. And it was twice a day, 5 mils each time. And that is a lot for a little kid who doesn't like the taste of the medication. And so the first dose we gave him, and it was hard. It was hard to give it to him, but he did it. But he did like gag every time. And anyway, the second time he threw up, like full on threw up. We didn't even get very far. So I made Mike call the doctor right now and get something different. So we got him a different prescription, which I don't even know what it's called, but got him a different antibiotic. And he's on 3 mils a day, 3 mils once a day. Like, why did they not prescribe this one in the beginning? Like, what little kid, not just little kid, like baby, can successfully do 5 mils twice a day of a disgusting medication? I'm just saying. It seemed a little silly to me. It was cheaper by like $6, so I don't know, whatever. But he's doing a lot better. He's like night and day different. Thank goodness for prescriptions, and thank goodness for Tylenol, and thank goodness for husbands who can, you know, you can trade off with. Mike has been amazing. He really took those nights and just did them. I mean, like, and he would just try to let me sleep, which was just really nice. Cause you know, I'm with him all day. The funny thing is, well, it's not really funny. Luke has decided that he wanted to wean. And I'm sure it was brought on by his sickness. But, because you know, when you have an ear infection, you don't want to lay down. So nursing is hard because you lay down when you nurse. So he hasn't really wanted to nurse. So he is a year old next week. And I've been thinking about weaning. I decided I wasn't going to continue. Well, that's not totally true. I was going to continue nursing basically as long as he wanted, but I was gonna try to cut back and do maybe like a morning and an evening. I mean, like when he woke up and when he went to bed. That was what I was gonna do. At least that was my plan. And because I really am a big believer in, and I've never done this before, so I don't know why I'm such a big believer, but I had a really hard time with the idea of like weaning him based off of something I needed to do versus something he wanted to do. I totally get it if you wean because of an emotional thing or whatever, but like I was doing fine. Nursing was fine, everything was fine. So I really had no reason to wean. Totally no reason. So I didn't want to wean him just because I was tired of it, you know? So I've been planning on weaning him soon just because he's turning 1 and I was just gonna drop down a lot of feedings. I think he was getting like 5 feedings a day right now, or a week ago I should say. But when he got sick, he nursed through like the worst part of the sickness, but then as soon as he like started to feel even a little bit better, he just decided he didn't want to anymore. So the last time I nursed him was about just over 36 hours ago. He nursed, it was the middle of the night, and he nursed on one side only. I was very, very full because he hadn't really nursed great the day before, but he had nursed a little bit. I was very, very full, and he only nursed on one side, and I was like, no, because I was so full. And you know, if you nurse, that letdown is on both sides. So he only drinks on one side, but I had to let down on the other side, so that other breast was really full, and it was full already because I hadn't nursed him quite as often as normal. Anyway, so he nursed on the one side that night, and I kept trying. I tried first thing in the morning, I tried before both of his naps, I tried before bedtime, and then he woke up again last night in the night, and I tried again last night in the night, and he didn't nurse any of those feedings at all. And so I decided, since it had been 24 hours since he had nursed last, and I was in so much pain, I was so full, I was just gonna kind of go with it. He doesn't want to, and so I'm not gonna force him to, obviously, and I'm just gonna kind of pull back. And so I guess we're going cold turkey, which is, if you have nursed and if you have weaned, cold turkey is the worst. I am dying. I literally feel like I'm dying. I have read plenty of internet information. I have talked to my mom. And I'm trying to do it the best way that I possibly can. My mom had to wean cold turkey when she was nursing my sister, and she said within 48 hours she was feeling better. She wasn't perfect, but she was just feeling better within 48 hours. But she did not hand express at all. She did nothing. I have been hand expressing a little bit just to relieve a little pressure, and I know that that's going to make it so that it takes longer for my milk to dry up. But I'm really, really worried about getting mastitis. I really don't want to get mastitis. My mom's like, I don't even know, like mastitis wasn't really I didn't even think of it at the time, you know. I don't know, maybe it's, I mean, I'm sure women got mastitis back when my mom was nursing my sister 40 years ago. But I don't know, I guess the internet just makes some information more available. But I really don't want to get mastitis. My sister is getting married tomorrow, and I'm like, if I get sick with mastitis before this wedding, and Mike is the officiant. I don't know what the word is. Mike's marrying them. So I am on Luke duty during the wedding, which is totally fine. He's my child, but I am in a lot of pain and holding him. And he is active. He is a 1-year-old active little boy. And he's wiggly, and he does not want to hold still. And it's gonna be hard. I'm probably just gonna have to stand in the back and let him crawl around. But I am in a lot of pain, and I have done all of the old wives' tales. I've been doing cabbage leaves today, and I've been eating peppermints, and there are some things that I'm not doing, like sage, and what else did I read about? I don't even know. But just trying to get through this. I said to Mike the other day, I really wish you could feel this pain. And it's not because I want you to be in pain. It's because I want you to know that I'm not making it up. I don't know if this is a woman thing, because my sister agrees with me, but I don't know if it's a woman thing that, like, we want men to feel our pain just because we think that they think that we're lying. We're not lying. I hope that Mike understands that, you know, if I have cramps, those are not made up. This is not made, you know what I mean? Like, my pain is totally real. And I mean, the internet is my backup, right? Like, anywhere you can find on the internet, if you look up weaning cold turkey, you can definitely find a lot of pain. But man, it is rough, and I am just hoping that I feel okay tomorrow for the wedding, and I'm just hoping that my milk dries up quickly. I don't know what to do to get it to dry up more quickly without causing mastitis. I have Google searched this thing to death, and I'm just like dying. But anyway, so when it comes to how I'm feeling emotionally about it, I'm actually a little sad. It's like, I'm not sad because I'm not nursing. It's just more sad because it's like the end of an era, and not even an age thing. It's just the end of something that I've just done for so long, you know? And I worked so hard. If you've been following me for a while, you know that breastfeeding in the beginning was not easy for us, and we figured it out, and I'm grateful that we did. But it's hard when you work so hard and then it's over. And obviously I knew it was gonna end, but it's just kind of sad to have worked so hard for something. But I'm grateful for every moment that I had nursing him. I mean, I got to nurse him until he was a year old, which I think is rare. I don't actually know that, but I feel like it's pretty rare to nurse until your baby is a year old. I didn't pump. I exclusively nursed. I did not pump at all. I mean, that's not true. I pumped in the beginning, when nursing was going really bad. But then once we figured it out, about when he was about 5 or 6 weeks old, I stopped pumping because it was the devil. Pumps are the devil. So emotionally I'm okay. It's just kind of sad to be done with something, but at the same time I look at this as a very positive thing. I can now go on dates easier, and you know, like, somebody else can put my baby to bed at night if I'm on a date, and that's okay because I don't have to nurse him before he goes to sleep. And so just little things like that, or you know, having to come home. Like, I've had days where I've been gone and Mike's been home with Luke. Like Saturday, I've been gone and Mike's been home with Luke, and I've had to come back just to nurse him and then leave again, you know, and go back to what I was doing before. And so it's kind of, you know, it's hard. And I wouldn't have it any other way. That's what I chose to do, but it's just nice to be able to have a little bit more freedom. When it comes to Luke and how emotionally how he's doing, he's totally fine. I was telling my mom yesterday, I've never really gotten the vibe from him that he is that emotionally attached to nursing. I mean, I honestly, I feel like, especially since he's been a lot older and active, maybe, and then all the birds just stopped, maybe like 7 months and above, I feel like he has looked at nursing as almost an inconvenience. Like, he knows that he needs to do it, but he doesn't really want to quit what he's doing. And I think that that's normal for kids who are very active. He's a very active little boy, and I think he's just kind of viewed it as something that's knows he needs to do it, but he doesn't really want to stop doing what he's doing so that he can do it. He's very distracted. I had to start nursing him in the dark in his room with the sound machine on before his naps because he was so distracted, and I could not get him to, and I'd have to put he wears like a sleep sack. I'd have to put a sleep sack on him, which I was going to do anyway because he was going to take a nap, but I'd have to put a sleep sack on him because he was just so distracted. So, I mean, not really, I would nurse him before both naps, and then at night I'd have to, same thing, and then in the middle of the night he was very sleepy. So it's just kind of, he seems to be doing totally fine. So yesterday and today, yeah, because before that he was sick, so I don't really count those, but like yesterday and today, he takes 2 naps a day still, so we're on our 4th nap, 2 yesterday, and now he's on his 2nd one today. I have not nursed him, and I haven't had to put him to sleep. I have just sang him a song, laid him down, he's cried for a minute or 2 or 3, and then he's asleep. So I kind of am like, he was ready. He was totally ready. This was him. He wanted this. I have read on the internet that babies who are totally okay with it in the beginning, in like a week or so, have a complete meltdown. So we'll see if that's what happens. I doubt it though. He's just not that kid. He just hasn't really been emotionally attached to nursing, which makes me so happy. I mean, in the end, that's the best way. Yeah, it's sweet when they're emotionally attached and they just want to snuggle and nurse, but at the same time, that can't go on forever. So it's nice when he decides, you know what, I'm done, I don't care. Because then I don't have to make that hard decision as a mom. So anyway, I just wanted to update you guys on how things have been going. I'm completely miserable, but Luke is doing great, and I'm just hoping that I don't get mastitis. That's really what it comes down to. Just don't get mastitis, because holy cow, I don't need to deal with that with a kid. I mean, I'm already dealing with a lot of pain, but mastitis on top of it. But so far things are going good. I am on, what I say, 36 hours of not nursing at all. But on the other side, I'm on probably 48 hours of not nursing at all on that side. So it's been, I mean, it's been quite a while. I mean, I've hand expressed a bit, but I don't really know about the cabbage leaves thing. I mean, they're all right, but I would rather have ice packs, because I've done ice packs too. And the cabbage leaves kind of hurt in my mind. Like, they're not comfortable. Or an ice pack, I bought the specific ice packs that are for nursing, so they're shaped perfectly. And they're really comfortable. So, anyway. There's a lot going on next door. They must be doing yard work or something. All my neighbors hire out their yards, which is awesome. Because our yards are big in this neighborhood. But I kind of wish we could like hire it out and just like do like a cleanup hire, you know? And then we can handle it from there. We are doing a major cleanup next month and getting like all of this stuff. We're just pulling all of that out, and like there's so much in here that's getting pulled out. I mean, there's just so much that needs to be completely ripped out. And so we're gonna have a big family party, and I'm gonna feed everyone, and they're gonna do yard work for me. So if you want to come, feel free. We could use every single hand we could get. It's gonna be a really, really long weekend because this yard is 0.68 of an acre, and there is a lot. They landscaped this so beautifully, but there is just a lot of overgrowth, and it just hasn't been kept up. I mean, the house is 40 years old, and it was the original owners that landscaped it like this. So then yeah, people have planted stuff throughout, but like it's really overgrown. 40 years worth of overgrowth. I know that there are owners that kept really good care. I think this house has had 5 or 6 owners, I've heard. And I know that there are owners that have took really good care of the yard, and then there were owners that just didn't. we hope to be the owners that do take really good care. I imagine we will be, because I'm married to a husband who is obsessed with yard work. But anyway, okay, that's the update. Luke is doing great. He is so happy, and he's crawling, and he's standing up against furniture and walking along the edge of it, and he won't let go though of our hands and just stand. He can kind of balance pretty good, but he's very scared to let go of his whatever he's using to balance and just stand. So it'll be a little while longer before he decides he wants to walk, but that's okay. He's heavy, but honestly, the slower my baby is, the better. And crawling is a little bit slower than walking. So, oh man, it is warm out here. It feels so good. I needed some vitamin D. Maybe that will help me keep the mastitis away, right? Like, I'm sure it does something, right? The problem is I'm in so much pain that I like can't do anything. So I'm literally, and I don't want to go anywhere. I'm like trapped in my house doing nothing, which is hard. Okay, that's all. That is the update. Pray for me.